So I created a new company and finally got my bank account. Today I did a deposit of $1,200 into my account with the first batch of cash funds in order to provide working capital to my company. What is working capital? Who can tell me what is working capital?
It's the money that you have available for your obligations or the thing the company.
Yes. Yes, Dominic. It's the money that you have available to provide your operations, your daily operations, pay your bills. Okay. So who can tell me the first register? Remember that for each economic transaction that you have, you must have at least minimum 2 registers, one for a credit and one for a debit, debit and credit. So
you have one debit for the asset, like for the bank account.
bank account is asset. What I want you to tell me if it's only if it's an asset, liability, equity, income, cost, and expense. I don't need the account name. The bank name is the account name. I don't need that. I can help you with it. Okay.
Okay. Okay. It's an asset and it's a the debit.
Yes. Yes. Why debit?
Because assets increase with debit.
Awesome. So you must have in your notes the chart of accounts, the nature of accounts. Remember that table, the nature of accounts? Let me paste it in here.
Yes.
Fernando, this is the first class, so you haven't you're starting with us. We haven't seen anything. Okay. The only thing that we saw on the previous class, and I think that you already know, is the nature of accounts. Okay. So, as Jorge said, equity increases, assets increase with debit. Okay. So asset, bank account, and 1,200. And what's the credit?
Equity.
Why equity?
Because we're talking about capital.
Yes, because you provided cash to your company, so it's your capital. Yes, correct, Jorge. And debits or credits?
Credit.
Why credit?
Because
and you want to increase it, right? You want to increase. This is telling that this company owes to somebody, which is his investor. The company owes him 1,200. So this investor provided working capital, which is cash. And this is the lecture. This is how we read it. If you see only this, if you only see the journal, you would read it as, somebody put money into this company as cash. That's the reading. It's the same thing as the question number 1. So question number 2, first day of operations, and I did a credit sale for $100. What is a credit sale, guys?
A sale that we will receive the payment in the future.
Yes. Yes, Fernando. And what is that from this table? Did you hear, Domain? What is a credit sale?
Yeah, it's an asset.
Why it's an asset? What's the definition of assets?
It's because somebody owes you something.
Yeah, it's
The
something
right to
that you
claim.
have like this. Yeah, so this account, like this money that is left to be received, it's something like that you own until the payment is done. So it's an asset.
Exactly. Remember that the definition of assets is resources and the right to claim. The right to claim means that I have the right to claim some money from somebody because that person owes me. Okay? So I did a credit sale for 100. And what's the credit, guys?
Income.
Why income?
Well, revenue, because it's money that you're gaining for your
Income and
services
revenue
you
are
offer.
synonyms, okay? Income and revenue are synonyms. But why revenue?
Yes, so because it's money that you're receiving from your services you perform or you offer.
If I close my accounting system until this operation, to whom I owe those 100?
To the investor.
Yes, yes. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If that's part of a profit and loss statement, but at the end, if I don't have cost and expenses, this would be my net profit. And the profits, who do you owe the profits? To whom do you owe them?
To the investor.
To the investors. That's why the income is negative, because it's a debt. The income, at the end of the day, it's the economic transaction that is generated for the purpose of the company, no? If you have a mug company, you sell mugs, but the money that you receive as revenue, at the end of the day, it's a debt to your investor. That's why the income is negative. So from the previous operation where I sold $100 to be paid in the future as it was a credit operation, the cost of that operation is $50 to be paid in the future. What's the accounting register?
Expense.
Let's see if Dome or Fernando can answer that.
The first
From
one.
the previous operation where I sold $100 to be paid in the future as it was a credit operation, the cost of that operation is $50 to be paid in the future.
I would say that the first one would be asset accounts receivable.
No, the first one we already registered. From the previous operation, it means question 2.
Yes, I mean, the first account would be accounts receivable asset.
Why? What's your reasoning process?
Because you made a sale and it was a credit operation.
Yes, but that's the number 2. That's the previous operation. In here, you're telling that your company, the cost for your company, if I sold this mug for $100, this cost to me, the company that sold that, costed $50 to create that mug. So, and that mug to be paid in the future. So, Dome, help us. What are the
Uh,
definitions, guys? Definitions. Go to the definitions. What do you think? It's cost or expense?
I think it's a cost.
Why
because
is cost?
it's something you because it's involved on the process of selling the product.
Debits or credits?
Debit.
And we're missing the credit. To be paid in the future. You help me with that, Fernando. Dome, to be paid in the future. I owe this month.
Accounts payable.
Accounts payable. Yes. Guys, this is where everybody starts to fall, like falling. What is the difference between cost and asset and expense and asset?
Because liability is something that you owe, and an expense is something you pay in order to the business to work.
Partially true. It's nothing to do with the payment process. I can have an expense without paying it in the year.
Sorry, what's the
Expenses and costs are meant to be used in the same year of the operation, okay, guys? But at the end are also resources. So, for example, papelería. Papelería is an asset because it's a resource or a cost and expense?
An
expense.
Why an expense?
I think it could be both because, of course, you have to spend money to buy this papelería, but once you buy it, you own it, so it could be an asset as well.
No, because you can sell it.
It's a good reasoning, Jorge. I could buy papelería for 3 years and you would see papelería as an asset and as an expense. What would be the proportion of the expense side? The papelería for the same, for the year, okay?
Yeah. And the asset would be the...
So at the end, cost and expenses are assets? That's a question. Cost and expenses are assets?
Depending if you own what you spend. I mean, if you own what you spend for, it is an asset. I think.
Wait. If I only buy 1 month of papelería, where would you see that in your accounting registers?
Expense.
As an expense. Because it's just 1 month.
Exactly. It's related to the time of the use, guys, because at the end, all the assets, remember this, all the assets will turn into an expense or into cash. At the end, all the assets will turn into an expense or into cash. Accounts receivable are converted into cash, no? If they pay you. But what if the customer doesn't pay you? Where would you see those accounts receivable? They would become an expense.
No, an asset.
Yes, it's an asset, an account receivable. At the end, all the assets will be converted into cash or into an expense. If they pay you that account receivable, you are converting your asset into cash. And if they don't pay you,
Yeah.
you will convert it
It's
into an
money that
expense.
no te pagan, sino lo que quieras.
The car, are you gonna convert it into cash? Give me examples. How do you would convert an automobile into cash or into an expense?
If you sell the car, it can be
You're
you
converting it
convert
into cash. And then
But
how
if
do you
keep the
expense
car,
that?
if you keep the car and this car have depreciation, this depreciation is an expense.
And the building,
The maintenance of the building is an expense, but if you, for example, rent the building, you can get cash out of the building.
No,
Si lo rentas.
así lo veo. Pero
Yes.
If
yes.
you, if
And,
you rent or you sell the building.
the maintenance and that rent expense and rent income, it's a consequence of the building. But the building also gets
Yeah.
depreciated, huh? Have that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, and the land, if you buy land,
And the land, you can sell the land, but the land doesn't depreciate.
very good. Very
I think the
good.
land is the only asset that doesn't depreciate.
No, negative, Jorge. Negative. There are a lot of intangible. There are a lot of intangible assets that get appreciated. Most of them are intangible, like the brand.
Like
A brand for a company, if the company has 10 years, does that get depreciated or appreciated?
appreciated.
Okay. So what's the difference between an asset, cost, and expense?
An expense.
An expense is it's the cost of doing business, and then the cost is the
result
of making the product, of selling the product.
Aha, but what's the difference? The only difference between the asset, cost, and expense. Because at the end of the day, guys, those are definitions, but you can have, like, I told you in this example that the mug is a cost, but the mug, is that an asset before I sold it?
Yes.
It's part of my inventory, and the inventory is an asset.
Yes.
So the only difference between cost and expense and the asset is the time that you need in order to use it. If you use it in the same year as your profit and losses, it's probably cost or expense. If you use it for more than 1 year, it's probably an asset. Today, I received a wire transfer for $100 from the customer from the previous operation, and I took $50 to pay the vendor also via wire transfer. So for that mug that I sold on credit, somebody is paying me. Who can tell me the accounting registers?
Asset,
Fernando?
No, it's revenue.
asset bank account.
Yes, asset bank account. And
Revenue.
revenue. What, Fernando?
Would it be the vendor liability?
No, but close, warm. Remember your previous transaction, guys? Where you sold them up? You had something called account receivable. Do you still have them? No, somebody's paying you, no? You already collected that right to claim. So you need to cancel it. This cancels the previous transaction. I converted my account receivable into cash. And from this 100 that I already got in the bank, I paid my vendor. How we register that transaction, guys? I paid the $50 that I owe.
It's an expense, right?
No,
You already
that's
have
a
the expense.
liability.
It's a liability. You have to cancel the liability. How do you cancel the liability? If you increase them with credits, you decrease them with debits. The final result
it's
is
left with
you canceled it because you don't owe that money anymore. You are paying from where? From the bank, no? You have to decrease the bank.
Yes.
So if I have a balance sheet, guys, this is a balance sheet, liabilities, accounts receivable, accounts payable.
Teclado.
Take a look of what happens. What's the balance sheet? The balance sheet is the recording of all the accounting transactions since the beginning of time from the company. So if I register all the movements from the bank account, obviously the debits are positives and I have to subtract the credits. What's my bank balance? It's the 1,200 from the capital, from the equity, plus the sale minus the cost of that sale.
Yeah, minus.
Okay?
Yes.
That's how the accounting records work. I bought a laptop from my firm in cash with $1,000. Easy. Come on, Dominica, you have to help me with that. That one is easy. You bought a laptop.
Yeah, it's
Let Dominica tell us, help us.
Profe, siéndole sincera, aún estoy media perdida y prefiero como que estudiar un poquito más antes de, o sea,
Practice with
definiciones y
us.
eso jalo, pero ahorita esto no tanto.
Practice with us. Like, what is a laptop for you? Is that a cost, an expense, or a resource?
A resource.
Remember that the difference between cost, expense, and assets are the time to be used, no?
Mm.
The expense is for 1 year and the cost is for 1 year. The laptop, are you gonna use it for 1 year?
Probably more.
So that's an asset.
Okay.
Asset, laptop. And where did you get the cash from to pay that laptop?
Friday?
No, where did you get those funds from to pay the laptop? From the bank, no?
Yeah.
You pay them from the bank. So you have to subtract 1,000 from your bank.
Okay.
And that's your accounting register. So if I subtract the 1,000 from the bank, now my bank balance should be the 250.
Le voy a preguntar que lo suba a Brightspace.
I'm gonna upload it to YouTube. not to bright space.
Oh, nice.
Ah, que lo hagamos nosotros.
No, que lo va a ayudar en YouTube.
Ah, nice.
Thanks, teacher.
Today is the due date to pay the office rent. We have to pay the office rent. Why an
Yes,
expense?
an expense, and because it's
Not
something you
related, not related to the.
yeah, it's not related to the selling process. It's something that you pay to run the business.
It is, my friend. It is.
It's a
Oh, debit or credit? Debit or credit?
it's a debit.
And the credit?
And the credit is the bank account.
Okay. Question number 7. Today we need to pay the payroll.
Can you repeat it?
The payroll.
Today we need to pay the payroll.
Why?
Remember that in this exercise, you will have most of the economic transactions that you have in companies. Huh? Obviously, there are hundreds and thousands, but these are the basics. You will have them. I'm very sure that you will have them, yes or yes, in your companies.
The teacher is an expense.
Why it is an expense? And I think that I know the reason why you doubt it.
I think it's a liability. Because it's money that you owe.
It's related to the company, to the sales.
What is, first of all, what is the
Yeah, I think-
payroll? What is the payroll?
Nomina, no? Well, the money you
Okay.
pay to the work.
And can you owe the nomina?
Yes.
Can you owe
Yes,
to
you
your
can.
employees? What happens if you owe your employees? What would happen? If you enter to a
you pay them
company,
with-
if you enter to a company and they tell you that you will pay, you will receive as your payroll 10,000 pesos each month, and at the end of the month they don't pay you, what would you do?
Demandar.
Oh, a teacher is an asset because it's for the long term.
No.
The payroll is for long term.
The payroll, yes.
I think it's a liability because you owe money to the.
If you don't pay it, Jorge, if you don't pay it, it's a debt.
It's a liability. If you do pay it, it's
But
yes.
what if you don't pay it? That's the example that I gave you. What would you do if they don't pay you? Los demandas.
Well, you. Sí, lo demanda. Sí.
So you have to pay it, no?
Yeah, you have to pay it.
So
it's,
if you have to pay it, we know that the first register comes out of the bank.
Yeah.
$50. And then
And then it's an expense in the case that you pay it on time. If you don't pay it on time, it becomes a liability.
yes,
But it
that's
doesn't specify.
correct, Jorge. That's correct. That's correct. Danny was correct, but he doubted because what if it's cost? Can the payroll be
related to
cost?
it.
Can the payroll be cost?
Yeah, because yes, because it's money you pay for the making of the product. It's that
Exactly.
process.
So if you have workers in the production line of your product, that payroll is part of your cost, not your expense. Our research and development, this is a good one, guys. This is the question that I always use to show you why it is important to know accountancy. Before I learn teach you how to do diversified portfolios and portfolio theory and risk mitigation and statement analysis, this is more important. Our research and development team has finished a successful development to help us to sell more than we used to. We spent in this project only the payroll for an amount of $30. The payroll for research and development team. That one's hard. That one's hard. But I always use it to show you because there are accountants that get this one wrong. If they are not very involved in what the company does and all your operation and economic transactions, accountants get your accounting system wrong. And believe me, they have a lot of mistakes.
It's an asset
The,
because it's part of the sale.
the development, it's an asset, pero no dice cuánto es, cuánto vale eso. Entonces, pues, lo del salario, nada más decir lo del salario.
Who can help me with that? Extra points.
Yeah, so it could be an asset, but it doesn't tell you how much money is this research is worth. It only tells you the payroll, the expenses, the salary of the research and development team. But this development, it's an asset because it helps the company to sell more.
So what's the accounting register?
Is debit.
The asset increase in debit, but it doesn't tell you how much this cover is worth, how much money it has helped the company.
What most of the
I mean, it's not
accountants,
specified.
guys, most of the accountants
Yeah.
would do this. Most of the accountants would do this. Okay?
Why?
Because it's payroll. In the previous operation, we did payroll as an expense.
De hecho, esta operación de develop cuesta $10,000. Ahí sí sería un asset.
Sí, así, sí. Si dijera, este descubrimiento nos ha dado
$10,000. Ahí sí.
And guys,
yeah, so it's
huh? Tell me.
Oh yeah, so this discovery that the research and development team has done, it is an asset for the company because it helps the company to get money, right? But it doesn't tell you how much money it has helped the company to make.
You don't need to know
So
that.
you cannot.
You don't need to know that. What would you need to do is that if it's an asset, what happens to assets? You expense them, no? Or you convert them into cash. How do you expense a car? Via depreciation, no? Well, what would you need to do is how much time do we spend this asset? Because if it's a
30.
software, because the software it's an asset, you only need to know how much time will you use that software. Do you think it has a great impact in your accountancy to convert it into an asset rather than an expense?
Yes.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
It makes all the difference in the world, guys. You would have a bigger resource in your balance sheet and less expense that would make your company more profitable. Question 9. Now the investor wants a dividend. What is the final position? Oh, let's do that at the end. I provided to my company with extra funds for additional 1,000 to buy sales delivery vehicle.
That's it.
Yeah, so that's an asset for the bank account.
Okay, and I bought that vehicle with credit.
It's a liability.
So
No, yeah, it's a
tell me all the registers. First of all,
so it is
the easy, no? The easy one.
And liability.
Liability.
but it says you buy it with cash, right? Or lo compraste. No, porque es-
Bank.
Sí.
Have we finished, guys? With this?
No,
With that, yeah.
no, because every month, no, aparte, you have to take into account the depreciation, and also you have to make to take in account the payments of the debt, so the debt will be diminished each month.
So tell me the registers. Everything you said was right, Jorge.
Oh, so you have the depreciation as an expense? I see. And the payment, it's an asset or it's still a liability?
I don't know, you tell me.
Cuando pagas.
Liability. No, es que si fuera.
Si pagas, ¿con qué pagas?
If you cash money,
Bank account.
so it's an
Bank
asset.
account. Gracias, Fernando. Ya me están haciendo ahí un chimichurri. ¿Esta depreciación contra qué se va?
To the car, no, to the car, but to the vehicle value.
We have, guys, always remember this. When you put depreciation into an asset, me as an investor, I want to see how much depreciation has accumulated. Don't put it in the same account. If we put it in the same account, which is kind of correct, like what if I have 200 of depreciation? The value of the car is 800, right? You have 10,000 in positive, but me as an investor, what I want to see is the original value and accumulated depreciation. I don't want to see just 800. Now I can see the original value and I know that I have to subtract 200.
Yes.
And what else is, guys? What we're missing? You have the depreciation, the bank loan with the vehicle. Does the bank lends you free of cost free?
No, you have to pay interest,
The 5%.
which is an expense. Yeah, interest is an expense. It's a financial expense.
It's a 5% annual interest. So
So it's 5% of the vehicle, 5% of 1,000.
okay. And the credit?
From the bank.
Nope, no. Oh yeah, yep, sorry, Fernando, yeah, I get you. Yeah, from the bank, okay. But only 50? I only pay the interest to the bank? Manuel, do I pay only the interest to the bank?
No, also the
I don't think so. I think you need to pay some more.
The capital, no?
Yeah, the capital. Si no he encontrado la palabra ahí, es de capital.
Depending on the terms of this bank credit.
Yes,
If it's the payment for 1 year,
yes, it
okay.
divides. It's the interest plus the money you owe that month for that period of time.
But
Right.
into what account? This is the debit.
But that is separate bills of separate payments, or it can be in only one like amount.
Don't worry, in this one it's just one, but I need to know the debit account. We have to subtract it from the bank credit, no? If I pay them 200 of
Yes.
capital, I don't owe them 1,000. I
You
only
owe
owe
them,
them now
800.
800.
Yes.
So this is all the operations, all the recordings that you need to see in your accountancy when you request a loan from to get a car, huh? And that's a personal thing also. Most of you will have car loans if you want a car. Maybe most of the times it also gets trickier because you will see that car as a leasing, car leasing. Until here, are you okay, guys?
Yeah, we're.
Yes.
A customer prepaid, we're also almost done, huh? In one class, very good, huh? A customer prepaid me 12 cups of $100 each that will be delivered on a monthly basis. This is... A esto se le llama el principio de devengación contable. Accrual basis accounting. A
It's
customer
liability,
prepaid
right?
me 12 cups. So tell me all the register.
So,
Okay.
it's
How much? 12 times 100, no? Wait. And then
also you have the liability to the client if you owe them those cups.
very good, very good. And why is not a sale?
Because
They are already paid you.
yeah, it's not a sale until you pay it, right?
Why is not a sale?
It's not a sale because until you pay that money, it's not a sale until you give them the cups. So until that, it's just a liability. Así, Gerard, ya le di las tasas. Ya, pues en ese momento ya.
So,
So until the 12 months, it is a sale.
perfect. So, and when I deliver one of the cups, how would you deliver them in your accountancy system?
For each month, you get money to the asset increments. You get money to the bank.
No,
And
you already
liability
have the
gets,
money in the bank. Jorge, you already have the money in the
okay. So the liability gets shortened.
And
And so you have, for example, for that month, you have 1,100 because you already paid 100.
this is the payment of those 100. I don't owe them 100.
No, you owe them 1,100 because you already paid 1,000.
Yes, exactly. Right now in here, it's telling me that I owe them only 1,100. But this, the credit side of this operation.
The credit side of that operation is
Wouldn't it be
the
the cost?
liability as well.
What, Fernando?
Wouldn't it be the cost of the cup?
Negative. It's
No,
income, guys.
the credit.
Income.
Why? Okay.
You sold one, what? How many cups? 12 cups.
Yeah,
You
you
sold
sold
12
one cup.
cups. Until you
You
don't
already sold
deliver
one
them
cup.
to the customer, those are liabilities for you. Because the customer can reclaim that money or those cups to you. That's a liability for you. Once you deliver them the cup or one cup, you cancel that prepayment, that debt that you have with them, and you convert it into income. What you don't do is put that as a bank and income the 1,200. That's not allowed. Okay, guys? And in order to provide or to work with these 12 cups, guys, it costed to you $50 each cup. So what would you do?
So it would be a cost. No, pero te están costando.
Oh, no. Sorry, you prepaid them. You prepaid those 6.
Yeah. It's an asset.
No, if you prepay them, you deducted from the bank. And what's the debit, guys?
The money, the bank, no, not but if it is an asset, why is on credit? The 600.
Because
should be
where
on
did you
debit,
get the
right?
money in order to pay for the 12 cups? From the bank, no? You're prepaying them.
Sí.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
I prepaid 2 months of rent as my landlord offered 3 months rent for the price of 2. This is the last one because we already did this one. This is the last one, guys. Come on.
Oh, yeah. So you have the. No, it's an asset. Wait. It's an asset. It's an asset.
Wait. A ver. Prepaid 2 months of rent. How much is the rent cost? 20. No? Okay. So we know that if we prepay them, it came out from the bank. No? Oh, sorry. 40. And the debit.
Bank.
No. You're paying it from the bank. You have to subtract your bank.
Rent?
The credit would be más bien el débito sería expense.
How much of the rent expense?
40.
Negative.
20.
Closer.
Pues dos.
Closer, but no.
Okay. Well, it says that it gave you 1 month for free, right? So you pay. So you pay 2 months. So it's 20, right? So 4,000. Pues the expense is 4,000.
¿Ya entendieron?
Yes.
Pero a ver, aquí no me está cuadrando, chicos. ¿Qué me está faltando?
Es que, a ver, interés.
La renta no tiene interés.
No, a ver, la renta va incrementando.
Analicen el pasado, analicen la transacción pasada. Cuando ustedes les prepagaron un cliente suyo, un cliente les prepagó 12 tasas. Hasta que no le entregaron la tasa, ¿qué se convirtió para ustedes? En un pasivo, ¿no? En una deuda. Ahora, si ustedes están prepagando algo que no les han dado, para ustedes, ¿en qué se convierte?
It's an asset.
Landlord
So
liability.
you have
Activo. Es un activo. Ese activo se llama prepaid expense. ¿Ya entendieron la lógica? Oigan, porque este es el principio de devengación contable. Toda su contabilidad en las empresas, y este es el método oficial financieramente, si no están haciendo su contabilidad bajo esta metodología, cuando ustedes quieran presentar sus estados financieros ante un banco o ante un inversionista, los van a mandar al rifle. No les van a servir. No pueden llegar con su contabilidad fiscal con un inversionista o con un banco. No sirve de nada. La contabilidad no se hace con base a las normas fiscales, se hace con base a las normas de información financiera o IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. ¿Ok? Esas normas te hablan sobre el principio de devengación contable o en inglés se llama accrual basis. El accrual basis te dice que hasta que no haya un intercambio de producto o servicio, no pueden tocar las cuentas del profit and loss. ¿Cuáles son las cuentas del profit and loss? Income, cost and expense. Hasta que no haya un intercambio de servicios, no puede, o de productos, no puede haber o no pueden tocar sus registros contables del profit and loss. Oye, ¿por qué aquí esto no tocó el profit and loss aunque estuviera prepagando una renta? Dani, por qué aquí, aunque estuviera prepagando esto, no se va al rent expense?
Porque es. Puede repetir.
¿Por qué esto, aunque fuera un prepago de una renta, no se fue al gasto?
Porque no te han dado ese bien.
Anótense principio de devengación contable o accrual basis. Eso viene en el examen. Accrual basis. Hasta que no haya un intercambio de producto o servicio, sus registros contables no pueden tocar las cuentas de resultados o del profit and loss.
O sea, hasta que no me den el producto o servicio no es un expense, ¿verdad?
Exactamente. Y lo mismo para ti, hasta que tú no le des las tasas que te prepagaron al cliente, no las puedes considerar como una venta. ¿Se acuerdan de este? Aquí, ¿por qué no hicimos 1200? Chéquense esto, chicos. ¿Por qué no hicimos 1200 y 1200 en este? Que era el prepago de las tasas.
Como que entregado.
Porque no ha habido un intercambio de producto y servicio por el principio de devengación contable.
No lo podemos considerar como las ventas, ¿verdad?
Lo que hicimos fue esto, ¿vale? ¿Esto qué me dice a mí? Si yo leo solo los registros contables, ¿esto qué me dice a mí? Alguien te prepagó un servicio de 1200 y hasta ahorita solo le has entregado 100. Ahorita que se empiezan a familiarizar más con los registros contables, si se dan cuenta con la simple lectura de estos asientos contables, ustedes ya pueden originar la historia económica de las transacciones que tienen bien descritas arriba. Digo, tal vez les falte más práctica, pero esa es la idea. Ahora, ¿ustedes van a ver y van a practicar esto? No. Lo que necesito que sepan ustedes hacer bien es clasificar sus operaciones económicas. Porque luego la gente me dice, luego hay empresarios que me dice que el pago del banco debe de ir en el profit and loss. ¿Quién me corrige eso?
No, eso. El banco va en el en el income statement.
¿Ya
¿No?
viste?
No,
Me
no te
dijiste
creas.
lo que está mal.
Sí, no, 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 no es cierto. Va en el balance sheet porque el banco es un asset.
Negativo. Si yo pido
O sea,
un
va en el
banco,
balance sheet porque
no estoy hablando de tu cuenta bancaria, estoy hablando de este. Hay empresarios que a mí me dicen que este debe de ir a resultados. Cuando escuchen que esta operación va a resultados, quiere decir que toca las cuentas del profit and loss. ¿Cuáles son las cuentas del profit and loss? Income, cost and expense.
Ajá.
¿Por qué me dicen los empresarios que el bank credit debe de tocar resultados?
Que no le sabe.
Y a ver, ¿qué sería lo correcto?
Que fuera en el balance sheet,
Ah,
¿Por qué en el balance sheet, Fernando?
que van assets, liabilities, and equity.
Y la deuda, ¿en dónde va?
En liabilities,
¿Y hay alguna parte de esa deuda que vaya a resultados? Sí, solo esta parte, chicos. El pago o el servicio de la deuda, por eso se dice servicio de la deuda, lo van a escuchar mucho ese término en los negocios. El servicio de la deuda es el interés. Ese sí es gasto. Lo demás es simplemente, me entraron 100 y estoy regresando a esa persona que me dio esos 100, le estoy regresando los 100. Oye, ¿cuál es el beneficio económico de esos 100? El servicio de la deuda, y eso sí va al gasto. ¿Ok? No se vayan con la finta como los empresarios. Ah, ¿por qué les estoy diciendo esto, chicos? Chéquense esto. Esto es lo que hacen esos empresarios que les estoy diciendo. Y así cuadran su transacción. ¿Ahí qué pasó? Este es el antes y esto es lo que ellos hacen. ¿Les va a cuadrar?
pasaron la deuda como si fuera un pago.
Sí les va a cuadrar, ¿eh? Les va a cuadrar perfecto. Pero adivinen que cuando saquen el profit and loss, ¿qué van a tener? Un mega gastote, ¿no? Un mega gastote.
Sí.
Aguas, y si yo fuera el inversionista, me lo ando cargando, ¿eh? Yo le diría, me estás robando, compadre.
No, porque culpas al contador, le echan la culpa al contador.
Le mandamos nosotros al contador.
Ajá.
Ah,
No me
y
gusta
crees que
nunca.
si el día de mañana tú eres el administrador, gerente, director o el CEO de la empresa, le puedas decir al inversionista es que fue culpa del contador? Lo cargo a los dos, me los llevo a los dos.
Pero te mandas que te apareciera el contador.
Le entregamos la cabeza.
Le entregas la cabeza.
Bueno, chicos, voy a subir. Listo, es enough for today. Buen avance, la verdad, esto lo vemos casi en un mes, así que muy bien. Chapó por ustedes. Eso nos daría tiempo de, si terminan y aprenden bien todos los asientos, nos da ese mes de seguir con temas más interesantes. Así que muchas gracias a todos. Nos vemos el miércoles,
El
¿vale?
miércoles es igual en línea, ¿verdad?
El miércoles va a ser en línea, chicos. Acuérdense que, de hecho, ya ahorita ya me voy a Ciudad de México, ¿vale?
Perden su
Ah,
viaje.
Muchas gracias, Dome. Muchas gracias a todos. Chicos,
envía, profe.
Bye.
nos vemos.
Vale,